Thank you for being here and joining me for this morning cup of coffee today. It is a beautiful fall weather outside today. So beautiful that as the leaves are starting to drop, and I totally had to tell myself I'm not working out inside. I had to go outside, go for a stroll and work out outside and just be part of God's canvas and to be able to see the colors and the leaves and the changing of that, the beautiful things that nature has to offer. I thank the Lord. I thank for the gift of allowing me to appreciate that, allowing me to walk out there to contemplate things because it's free. It is something that we have the ability to do. Just stop, take a breath, and just appreciate what is life. And I thank the Lord for that. If we start every day with being grateful for the things we already have, the simplicity of just stopping and seeing things, feeling things, talking to each other and everything else, then everything else will be icing on the cake, right? Let's always try to remind ourselves to start off with gratitude. And how's everybody doing on this beautiful Monday morning? Hello, Nathalie. And so this morning, I took the time to go outside just before all the leaves are gone, because it's starting to happen. You know, October is going, the leaves are falling, the colors have been vibrant this year. And it made me stop and think about what does it all mean in terms of seeing the beauty of the changes, but then watching the leaves fall. And during winter, when the trees are bare, it looks like skeletons that are out there. We look forward to spring because it's a rebirth. So a lot of times I think about how the beauty of it all just goes into vibrant colors come out, and then it sheds its skin only to have a rebirth in spring where the greens come again before fall comes and it sheds its skin again. Every season it keeps doing that. And while I was walking through, the woods, I actually saw a lot of trees also that have died, that have fallen, have withered away with time. And that made me think also that with every birth and rebirth comes a death. What is it that you look at when you see the tree that's fallen, that's withered? And I think of the trees around it that's telling the story. That once was a great oak. That once used to change its colors and its leaves every season for the rest of us to see. That once was very vibrant every season, season to season. That it starts off green and turns into a bright red or golden yellow before it sheds its skin again for that to come again. And then eventually it just stopped doing it when it died. Made me think about one of the things about life and death and how beautiful it is, but it is within the changes of the leaves, within the changes of every season to season, that it does kind of represent what the changes have happened to us in our lives, isn't it? I think of all the good times, the different golds, the different reds I've had, the angers, the misery, and always, though, was a rebirth into something new. For every challenges I met, sometimes I fell down, but I always picked myself up because I'm here. Have you ever thought about what colors of leaves you've shed every season of your life? And here you are now. What have you appreciated? What have you learned from it? And just like the leaves, as you shed it off, new leaves are going to grow. Just like every problem you have, you solve it or you shed it off because there's a rebirth for something else, a new challenge to face. But then at the same time, every color, every leaf that you have, as you age, you start to realize that this tree trunk right here, that these branches will eventually wither and die too. What then? What then? Do we record the beauty of our colors? Do we record the beauty of our leaves? Do we record the beauty and color of the other trees that were once beside us and have withered away too? What's it all about? And that's why I say, hey, if I was able to think of all this as I walked outside and walked through the woods, rather than just walk through the woods and go, what's going on today? I got to think about all these different things I got to do today and everything. Take time to reflect on small things like this. Because when you do, it actually reminds you why we are alive and why we shouldn't be so sad when death comes. Because just like the beautiful things that goes as part of the cycle of life. And I like to lament, I like to think about these things Because if I focus simply on today and the things that I have to do and the problems that I have to do and everything else, they'll always be there. Sometimes we have to take time out, breathe the air, and think about, what is this all about? And a lot of times we'll never find out or think about it if you don't stop and look at the things around you, the seasons in your life. What does each season mean to you? And there are so many seasons that I go by that I wish were still here, but it's not going to be here again. Just like the beautiful leaves I used to collect as a kid to look at those, they're gone. And they'll change too until you preserve them. But while you waste your time on thinking and focusing on something to preserve and everything else, you're missing out on the new growth around you. Live life while you can, because in the end, like everything else, we will become those tree trunks. And the leaves around us, the people we leave behind, the love and the lives that we lived, they'll continue on without us. So, take the time today to stop and look around you and think of those. Look at the colors of the leaves. Appreciate what nature's telling you about the cycle of life. And then think on it. What were the seasons that were my favorite, where I shined the brightest? What were the seasons where my leaves were just so tired and the branches were broken that they too had to break away? But then new ones grew, or I made through it. I continued on. If we remind ourselves of these things, a lot of things in our life can have not just meaning, but actually add to the colors of the way you feel. It's just nice to walk out there and see these things. And then, instead of just making it a walkabout, I turned it into a training session. So I'll share with you the colors that I'm talking about. I'll share with you when I get to edit those videos sometime today. With that, I'd love to see your thoughts on, what do you think about the seasons of your life? What do you think of all the colors? Are you able to appreciate the changes? Do you embrace the change that's coming? And can you let go of the memories of your leaves? Can you let go? And in so doing, do you also take the time to appreciate the other trees around you and the changes of their colors? And also say goodbye to the leaves that they're letting behind and the tree trunks that they have moved forward ahead of us. They've gone ahead of us. We'll follow soon. Doug Marcaida here with a thoughtful day. So just a very lamenting day to think about these things as I'm enjoying the moment of fall, my favorite time of the year. Doug Marcaida, Morning Cup of Joe. And good morning to everyone, by the way. Gerald, Vic, John, and everyone else. Monica, Mike, Joshin, Sophie, Natalie, everyone who's in here this morning. Take care and have a great day, because, hey, fall's here only for a few minutes, a few more before you know it, it's gone. And then the next challenge. Thank you. Thorin, hey, yes, fall is a reminder of letting go. Yes, absolutely. It is about letting go. We can't grow new leaves if we keep on holding on to the old ones, right? We can't grow and appreciate the changes of the colors if we keep holding on to that one thing. Be reminded of the beauty of fall. And then comes winter, and then spring. Then summer. Then here we are for another fall. Take care.